Hello, Pisces. Thank you for tuning in to this week's general read. I just noticed the sun coming in. I don't know if we can fix that, but we'll try. For this week's messages, I'm using the Oracle cards by Stacy DeMarco, the Halloween Oracle. For the main tarot, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. A couple very colorful versions that I think are pretty cool. This isn't completely right. I forgot to face around a little bit. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now. Okay. Let's see. What we got here. Got a lot of cards, which is fine. Okay. Now, when we're coming into whatever the situation is, you've got Apple and you've got Vampire. Vampires are very, and just in case you're not aware, if you haven't seen my videos before, I go very intuitive on these. I'm not holding myself to whatever the book definition might be of these cards. It's one of the reasons I like Oracle cards, because I can just go with how I'm feeling. Now, I'm feeling like you got involved in something here. The Apple, I know it says risk and reward, but you got involved in it because of the potential. I feel for a lot of you, the reason you even got involved is because somebody you love or somebody you want to be around was involved, and you just kind of followed somebody else into this situation. It's kind of how it feels. And the Vampire here is telling me, I feel like you kind of put on this glamour. I'm gonna literally, it's coming through as false front. But I'm a Pisces myself, so I can see why sometimes you might put forth a little bit more braver or a little bit more different front, just so you can get a sense of the situation. Like you're protecting yourself. You're protecting your emotions. You're not, you're just kind of putting up that wall just a little bit, putting up that little protective shield, just so people don't see you for exactly who you are just yet. I don't feel like it's deceptive. I feel like it's protective. But I'm a Pisces, so it could be just how I'm viewing it. Like you're getting into it. You're putting up a little bit of a false front. You're following somebody else into this. You're being very careful getting involved. I'm getting on the other side here. Now, I know it says remembrance at the bottom, it's the lamp, but I'm actually feeling like somebody's looking for an opportunity here. And I feel like that's one of the reasons you're putting up a false front, like protectively. Because somebody is definitely, who's coming into your realm here, whoever's coming into the situation, or you're actually going into it, I should say. Somebody already involved is probably a better way to put it, is definitely looking to get something from someone else. And I feel like you see them kind of leering in on this situation. You're following somebody else in, you're putting up that protective front, but that's actually, I feel like it's very defensive. There's a very good reason, because you're coming up against this energy where they're looking to kind of get their claws into something. They're trying to get into it. And you see it coming. That's why you're putting up this protective false front. It's for a reason. You're not just doing it for, because you feel like it. It's because there's a good reason for it. Even if you're one of those Pisces, that I can be one of these at sometimes, where you're just kind of putting up this false front, you don't really see it, but like subconsciously or deep down, you're getting this notion and it's just kind of happening on autopilot. It's happening. You might even be able to, at some point, to look back and be like, well, like I was kind of putting up a false front. Didn't really think I had a reason for it at the time, but looking back, it does make sense. Energy is very weird at this point, and I'm just kind of checking, is it me? Or it's the energy is weird at this point. False front, even if you're not picking it up, you're putting that up for a reason. Even if you're not realizing consciously, like there's somebody that's looking for something, I need to put up a protective barrier. Even if you're not seeing it, I feel you're emotionally doing it. Now, excuse me, I'm getting some interesting energy going in, because as you're following into this, you're getting involved, kind of getting your feet wet in the situation. You're subconsciously are aware of it if you're not consciously, that somebody's looking for somebody. Somebody's looking to get their claws into something here. I'm getting that because of that, you're a little bit leery of going too far into it. You're not overly motivated to get involved. Like, you're not taking action, although as time progresses, you do want to do something with the situation, but I feel like you're still kind of reluctant. It's almost like you're drawn to it, but you're reluctant to do anything about it. And I'm getting here the Four of Swords is kind of like you're thinking about it. You're not really sure if you should get involved, but you kind of want to. You're thinking about it. The Eight of Swords, or Eight of, I was going to say Eight of Pine Cones. Eight of Wands reversed is telling me that there's really no action. It feels like non-action. The other side, I'm getting the Ace of Swords reversed, but the reason for this reading, I'm getting the other side, the energy you're connected with, this person who's looking to get their claws into something. The reason this is upside down is because they're not moving forward yet, but they may be moving forward sometime soon. They're poised. They're kind of like a cat ready to pounce. They're kind of poised for action, but they're not taking it yet. And I'm getting on your side, you're not really sure if this is something you should be a part of. You're not really feeling like you're connecting into the situation. But you kind of want to be involved in it, but you're kind of reluctant. You kind of want to go forward, but you're kind of not feeling like you're really a part of it. It's kind of like, because you're following somebody else in, and you're just kind of like, you're in this in-between limbo. Like, do I want to? Do I not? I'm not really a part of it, but I think I could be. It's very ambivalent. Like, I don't know what to do. Non-action is for sure. There's non-action, but like the reason behind it, like, should I be? Shouldn't I be? You're kind of like going back and forth. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I should. Am I a part of it? Am I not a part of it? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So then this energy here, they're not moving forward wholeheartedly yet. They're not. But I feel like they're throwing out teasers. Like there's some type of invite. I feel like it's just like a free-for-all invite. Kind of like something's going on. If you want to show up, great. If you don't, fine. I don't feel like a direct invite, but an indirect invite. Almost like, a bunch of us are getting together. Anybody who wants to come is welcome to come. One of those things. But I do feel like they're watching you. This energy is watching you. And if it looks like you're going to show up, they just seem to be sitting back and letting it be. If they don't think you're going to show up, you may notice they're just kind of like, oh yeah, they're bringing it to your attention a couple other times. Like, people are getting together. If you want to join, it's great. If you don't, that's fine. But they're making sure you're very well aware of it. They're kind of giving you the impression that they do want you to show up. I know it says trick or treat, but what I noticed most on this card is the masks. Like they're not coming forward with what they want. They're playing a little tricky with it. And when that comes forward, I'm seeing the Knight of Swords for you. They got your interest. And I feel like you're kind of like, you know what, maybe I'll get involved in this. Maybe I'll try it out. I feel like you do want to. And I feel like the way this is coming forward to you, it's very comfortable. Like you do want to kind of get a little bit more into it. You want to see a little bit more into the situation. I do feel like you're clicking in and you're doing it. You're going. Now, two things I want to add here where this is ending up. It is going well for you, yes. Barmbrack. I'm not too familiar with that. I might have to research it later because I'm curious more about it. But what I'm noticing from this card, it does say sweetness and synergy, but to me, my immediate instinct is like this bread is too sweet. Like this is too much. Like, this is just kind of like can't have a lot of this. I'm thinking like I like it, but if I had too much of it, it would make me ill. And I'm noticing the pumpkins in the background, and they're connecting to the pumpkins to this card. You'll notice them on this card too. Jack-o'-lanterns, if you will. I'm really feeling like somebody is really looking to get something. Like they have ideas about you and what they think about you and how you could add into the situation. I feel like you got to just pay attention closely. Because definitely this is a general reading, but ulterior motives are at play. I'm not going to say they're going to work against you, but there may be something else here, like there's an ulterior motive. And it may not work against you, it may actually work in your favor, but you got to look closely. Because what I'm getting here is Joy is overseeing this other card, which is Dawn. And again, I'm going to read this intuitively, because what I'm getting is it's a good time. You're having a good time. You're being welcomed in. You're being encouraged to come more, to see more. You're getting welcomed in. It's a good time. You're feeling very welcomed. I feel like you're connecting in. You're feeling like you're starting to feel like a part of the group, whatever that means. But it's covering the dawn, which is telling me this is just starting. This is like your gateway moment. And this says the light after the darkness, but I gotta be honest. For me, okay, when I start saying that term, it's always like be honest with yourself, come forward with how you really feel. It's telling me there's an issue here. There's half-truths. I'm feeling half-truths. This is just the beginning. And with this symbol, the owl is a very interesting symbol in my life, and I'm just being sure how I want to read this. Because, owls, they're hunters. They are hunters. Like, they're not just benign, like, look at me, I'm pretty, and I'm fluttering around. They're hunters. They hunt mice, they hunt things. Like, they kill. They kill things when they need to. And I'm getting, like, just be careful. Like, what is the owl's prey? You need to find out what the owl's prey is. And that's what it's making me feel like. This could definitely be a beneficial situation for you. But just see it for what it really is. Find out what this ulterior motive is. I'm not saying it's going to work against you, but I really feel like once you know what it is, once you figure it out, it puts everything else in line, and you know what you want to do. It's all about you truly being comfortable. You don't want to be caught off guard or blindsided. You don't want to be used as a pawn or even a different chess piece, even if it's a rook or anything else, without you knowing what you're being used for. Like, you might be a part of an ulterior motive. As long as you know what that is and you're on board with it, that's one thing. But if it's kind of just like a thing behind the scenes, that's not cool. You need to know what you're being used for. And, I understand balance, like give and take, because you'll get something out of the situation, somebody else gets something out of the situation. Yeah, that's all good. But as long as you're on the level and you know what you're getting into, once you know what you're getting into, I don't feel like it's a problem, because if you don't like it, you'll just step out. If you're okay with it, then that's cool. Because this Ace of Swords will turn upright at some point, and you will be knee-deep in it by that point, is what I'm getting. So just be sure, find out what are these ulterior motives. That's what I'm getting. All right. I think we're there. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.